Hey you guys, thanks for joining me. So I'm going to go over Unit 6, Lesson number 10. And this one is a little different because we are using a calculator. But in this lesson and in some of the other ones, they talk about you like using a specific calculator. And we're not interested in you guys going out and trying to buy different calculators to work different problems. If for some reason you made the decision to go purchase a calculator, if anything, I would purchase like the TI-84 because it'd be something that you would use consistently versus an actual financial calculator, which is what they have on here. So the first thing that I want to mention and notice that they talk about in this lesson, so we are talking about basically calculating like future value, present value of money, so like investing some money and trying to determine, given a certain interest rate, like how much it would be worth at a later point in time. Or if you are wanting to have like a certain amount of money, like how much money you would need to invest like yearly in order to achieve that goal, okay? So there are different vocabulary terms that they have in here, different acronyms, the N, the I, the PV, the PMT, the FV, and then PYC. While we don't do a lot with those there, but we're going to go over and we're going to work some problems with these, okay? So what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using a financial calculator, one that's online. I'm also going to drop it on my landing page. If I go, let's see, here's my landing page. So my landing page is here, and for my class, the calculator is going to be right here. It's going to say finance calculator, okay? And I'll leave it up there because you may need it later in the year. So let's go back over to our lesson. But notice on here, I want you to take note of this, and I'm zooming in here. Note, different calculators or calculator versions may result, it should say result in answers that are not the same, okay? So sometimes we're going to work some problems, and the numbers aren't going to be exactly the same as what they got. And I know that's hard because it's like, well, how do I know if that answer is correct or if it's not correct? So at least for nothing else, on this assignment, I have worked all 10 problems using the financial calculator that I have given you guys. And at least I was able to get the same answer or something, something very, very close to where your answer wouldn't necessarily be wrong, okay? But if for some reason you're using something different or run across some issues, of course, reach out to me, reach out to your teacher, let them know, and I'm sure we can go in and see what we can do. Okay, so on this assignment here, we have a total of, so they give us a couple of examples here, and I wanted to show you. So like I was working example number 2, okay? Now notice here in example number 2, I'm just looking at numbers because I'm trying to make the video quick, but the answer here, see this, negative 290. So basically they say Les will fall short of his goal and he will only have $290,000 for $290,000, 493. I worked this same exact problem with 2 different calculators, okay? And I did not get the same thing that they got, okay? Ultimately, I decided on the calculator that I popped into my landing page that I'll use, but I'm going to show you. So here's the example here, right? So you can see that here, the one that I have in blue already, this is the one that's the example. And so, of course, it has the 290,000. I used a calculator from an app, like a website called Calculator Soup that I use quite a bit. And on there, I got 274,000. But notice the information is the same. Like my N and stuff or whatever, it's 20. Let me see. Did I change? So yeah, my N is 20. My interest rate is 6.5. I'm doing it 12 times. I'm adding $6,000. I started with 10,000, but I got 274,555. That's not the same, but I put in the same information. I used a different calculator, which is the one that we're going to be using, right? I'm going to be using this one, the TVM Advanced Calculator. Same thing, but notice the answer was still not the same as this 290 that they got here. Okay, so don't completely freak out if you don't get the same answer. But I wish they were all coming up the same, but I did use 2 different calculators, and I still didn't get what they got in that one, but which is why I went through all 10 problems. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to find a few questions on here. The assignment has a total of 10 questions. The top portion, questions 1 through 4, questions 1 through 3, they're talking about present value. 4 through 6, it's a yes or no, but I think those are future value. And then 7 through 10 is also future value. So I'm just going to pick some random problems so that you guys have some examples. So let's say we look at number 2. All right. So number 2, it says Nina needs to have $23,500 in 6 years. Well, let me get my little pen up here so that you guys can see. And I just signed into this, and apparently it signed me back out. Give me a second. It should pop up and allow me to use my stuff here. Let's go. Let's try one more time. Trying to get my little pen so I can write and highlight and stuff in there. Okay, so it says Nina will need $25,500. We can see that here, right? And it says that it's going to be in 6 years. It's a little bigger. I might just write it under it. Okay, so she's going to need $23,500. Okay, now notice that it says she's going to need, right? That's a need, so that's how much money she's going to need. It says the time is going to be for 6 years. And so the question asks, how much should she invest now? So how much should she invest now? So this is going to be, we're looking for the present value. So how much is she going to invest now at 7.8% annual interest? And most of these you're going to be using annual interest. And they want us to compound quarterly. So that is the information that I need. So it says that she's going to need $23,500. Says how much does she need to invest now? So I need to find the present value. So the future value is going to be this $23,500. Okay, my time is going to be 6 years. My interest rate is going to be 7.8, and it's going to be quarterly. I'm sorry, that's a little messy. It's kind of hard to write on here, and I can't find my stylus. And it's going to be quarterly. So let's show you how to go in here and get it put in our calculator. All right. So the present value, remember present value, that's not what we want. We want to find the present value. We don't know what it is yet. So her payments are going to be none. She's not making any payments. Her future value, we do know this future value. Future value, she wants it to be $23,500. The interest rate is 7.8. I put 17.8. It's 7.8. Notice it already said annual. This will stay the same on all of your problems. The period is going to stay annual on all of your problems. The period is basically the amount of time. So it's going to be 6. And then down here, compounding, we're going to compound this quarterly. Okay. And so we are looking for the present value because it says how much would she need to invest now. And where this PV is right here, we're going to click on it. And it says we're going to get approximately $14,783. $14,783. Let's go over here. $14,783. There we go. All right. Let's go and find another one. I'm going to clear this off of here. All right. Let's scroll down some. Let's look at one of these ones with our yes and no. How about we look at number 6? All right, number 6 says Diego wants to have $1 million in 5 years. So in 5 years, he wants to become a millionaire. It says he plans to invest $250,000. So he's going to invest $250K. So that's going to be the present value. So right now it's going to be $250,000 to start, and he's going to make yearly payments. So he's going to make payments. He's going to make payments of $125,000. His interest rate is 3.5%, and they're going to compound it monthly. Okay. Oh my gosh, my handwriting looks horrible on here, and it's really not that bad. I may try to zoom in. All right, so there's my information. We're going to put it in. So he's going to start with $250,000. He's going to make payments of $125,000. And remember, that's yearly. His interest rate is 3.5, and he's going to go monthly. So let's go over here to our calculator. Okay, present value is $250,000. That's how much he started with. Payments, that's here. They said his payments were going to be $125,000 a year. Remember, we're doing things annually. The future value, we're not sure yet, so I'm going to clear that out. The interest rate here was 3.5. Of course, that stays annually. The period is the amount of time, which I don't recall. Let me pop back over. It was 5 years. That's what it was, 5 years. So the period here was 5 years annually, and it was going to be compounded monthly. So let's change that to monthly, and we're looking for the future value. Remember, he wants to be a millionaire. So let's see if he's going to be a millionaire. Not quite. It shows that he would have about $992,000. So he's pretty close. Another $8,000 or so, and he'd be a millionaire. So this one would be no. So go here, and we're going to click on no. He's going to be a little bit short. Okay. Let's go down here and do one more towards the bottom. I'm trying to delete that little thing off of there. Let's go down here. Maybe let's just do the bottom one down here. I'm going to try to zoom in and see if my handwriting will look a little better on here, so I'm not trying to write so small. Okay, so it says, suppose Stephanie increased her yearly contribution. So this yearly contribution is basically going to be a payment. And it won't let me do it, I don't think. Like, I'm trying to zoom in, and I don't think it's letting me write when I zoom in. Okay, so she's going to make a payment, and her payment is going to be $3,500. And she says she's going to continue investing for a total of 35 years. Okay, the interest rate is 11.75. We're going to compound this daily. Let's see. So they say she increased her to combine this account. How much will her account be worth? Okay, how much will her account be worth? So what we're looking for is the future value. And number 10 piggybacks off of number 9. That's why it says, suppose now that she did something, because they're assuming you work number 9, but we're just starting at 10. So we're looking for future value here. So let's go over to our calculator. So she's going to make payments of $3,500, 35 years, 11.75, and she's going to do this daily. Okay, our calculator, I'll share that tab instead. So her present value, we do not have present value right now because we're going to look for future value, but she is making payments. Her payments were $3,500, and I am not putting the comma in there. It just automatically does it for me. Okay, I'm going to close out future value for now. Her interest rate was 11.75. Okay, this is annual, of course. We leave that. The amount of time is going to be 35 years. It's going to be compounding daily, and we were looking for future value. So for future value, where that little bar is, I'm going to click on it, and it says her future value is about 1.89 million, not billion, million. So it's about 1.896 million. So let's go over here and see if we can find that. And there it is. There it is right there, 1.869. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me. I hope this helps. Have a good day.